Photojournalist is a Take a Bow theatre group which works here at the art studio. We're doing Ariel Dorfman's Death in the Maiden. It's a pretty, it's definitely a drama. It's not a light-hearted piece, but it's the kind of piece that make you think. It's got a lot of social relevance, I think, for the time. And we're going to be putting on the show February 22nd and 23rd. 29th and March 2nd. They're all at 8 p.m. in the evening. It's a chance for us to do the art studio, and Take a Bow does the way we try to do it here is things that are not necessarily like community theatre fare, things that you're not really going to see in this area, and hopefully you know, we can get a different, we can expose people to a different kind of theatre. It should be for adults only. When I say adults, I think certainly high school. If understand some of the subject matter is mature subject matter, some of the language is a little, you know, a little much for some people. But I think it needs to be somebody that can, you know, who has an interest in world affairs and an interest in the human condition. I think would relate to this thing.
I played Paulina Salas Escobar. Paulina was kidnapped. She was a student, a medical student, but she was working for an underground newspaper at the time of the revolution. So she was a member of the socialist students movement, she and her boyfriend Gerardo, who is now her husband. But she was kidnapped right off the street in broad daylight, like tens of thousands of people are every day. And she was held prisoner and tortured. And during the course of those events, she made a promise to herself that she would one day get justice. And so when this man gives her husband a lift home when he's had a flat tire, she decides that this is the man who did it to her. She recognizes his voice, his aftershave, all kinds of things he says. So he's spending the night rather than drive all the way down a lonely beach road at 2 o'clock in the morning, and she takes him prisoner and puts him on trial. And that's how the play unfolds. And it's wonderful to make the audience think about, what if I were her and I were faced with the opportunity to right some wrongs? What if I were her husband and I'm an attorney and I know better, but I love my wife and this guy doesn't seem that innocent? And then the man in the chair, of course, is in the position that he has to convince the husband that I'm crazy. We feel that it is extremely relevant at this time in world history and world events. And it's just an immortal story. It really is, unfortunately. And so we were looking at the things that are happening in Burma and Kenya and still in South America, Guantanamo. You know, there are so many different places where people are still feeling the effects of torture and political prisoners. So we felt it was relevant, and we like to challenge ourselves, we like to challenge our audience. And anything we can do to make people really think about something new today besides their grocery list, that's what we want to do.